Alright guys, so sorry I sound like crap, but I'm really not feeling that good. But I wanted to get a video done. I actually came home from work early yesterday. I spent the last like almost 48 hours in bed. I think I've got most of it kicked. We're gonna try to sweat the rest of it out. But got my metal, just 1/8 inch, 3/4 inch wide. That's going to sit in underneath here, welded in, and then I'll rivet these parts to it in order to mount up my aluminum. But what I'm going to end up doing is taking these, figuring out where I want the rivet to be. Let's see if I can do this. Figuring out where I want the rivet to be. I'll mark it, then I'll cut it, weld it in, and then drill my hole and rivet it. But that's what we're going to be working on today. I want to touch base. I didn't do an intro to the last video that I uploaded, and I ended up losing a bunch of the footage that I had recorded. And the reason why is I ran out of hard drive space, so I went out and got myself an external hard drive. That way I can keep my video stuff on an external hard drive, still edit the videos and do all that stuff. The computer that I got is it's a pretty small computer as far as hard drive, but it does everything else that I need it to do. With that being said, you know, my dad was up, first time my dad was on, and the 64 belt is all mine. I did everything to it, but my dad's really taken on getting this front steering rack built up, mostly just because I haven't been focusing on it that much, and it's something that he really wanted to give his hand, give a try on, give a hand to, and all that. I've been pretty blessed in my life that my dad, he didn't work on stuff to modify it at all. He was doing stuff out of necessity, you know, fixing up a car, putting a transmission in something. You know, that's what he did. I got to spend most of my childhood running around in junkyards, running around in car dealerships and stuff like that. My dad had like 5 or 6 guys that he would do transmissions in, do stuff like that, just for extra monies. And I got to spend a lot of my life doing that, running around. I remember this one guy that we did transmissions for down towards Columbia, Pennsylvania. Sorry. My dad would go down there and do transmissions. I would go down there and I would clean out the cars, and he would throw me a couple bucks every weekend that I was down there cleaning out cars. But that's where I learned a lot of my mechanical ability from, was hanging out with my dad and just doing stuff that we needed to do. I understand a lot of people don't have that opportunity to learn that type of stuff from their father, but I was blessed in that. Gotta make sure we turn our trademark stuff off so we don't get in trouble. But as far as how you're going to mount up your stuff, what I did here, and this might be common sense to some of y'all, but some of y'all might not understand it quite yet. But as far as, oh shoot, I forget how I did this. Alright, here we go. Boom. One mark. I don't even have to lose any after that mark. If I use that same angle, and I go to, which one did I do? This here. Boom. There you go. And then, boom. There you go. It's 3 marks, not a bit of it lost. 3 cuts instead of making extra cuts. Alright guys, so we're working on metal. A tool that'll help is some magnets. I got these magnets here, and this will be done in, this will come up in a future upload here, but from Albert Pigman. Oh geez, I don't know what happened to his shipping later. Albert Pigman, he's the owner of Amped Up Fabrications, Amped Up Metalworks, Amped Up something, Amped Up. Now I'm looking for the paperwork. That ain't it. I believe it's Amped Up Metalworks. Let me find out, because I want to give him credit where credit's due. Amped Up LLC, that's it. So this guy does all kinds of metal work. He's American products made by Americans. But I got some wrench holders. He does a lot of mostly steel work, but I asked him, I wanted ones made out of aluminum. And what he did here for me is this one, he actually mounted them on there so that when these are going to go inside that box, it'll help hold the wrenches in place, the magnets. And he gave me these extras, which will probably most likely be used for that. But for now, what I'm going to do is use them for my mock-up and holding in place of my steel. So we'll get this in there to about where we think we want it. And this is just kind of to keep those from falling out. Oh man, I hope I start feeling better today. Throw these guys in. Whoa. And once I get all those in, I can drop my piece of aluminum in, and with any luck, they will hold it. I might have to add another magnet or two on each side. I'm not certain right now. But we'll be able to adjust it up and down, pull the aluminum out, tack it all in, and it'll just hold it in place, you know what I mean? That way I get it to sit as flush or off flush as I want. Where did that? There it goes. Just about perfect. Let's raise this up just a hair. I'll raise these guys up just a hair. Raise these guys up just a hair. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Awesome. So we got our magnets in place, and we'll have to bring these up before we tack them, obviously. But we got our magnets in place. They are holding like I wanted, exactly how I wanted. And we got nice and flush. So, with that being done, we'll get a little tack on them and go from there. But that's how all of them are going to be done, exactly like that. Alright, so we got one side done. All riveted down. I'm going to still run something in these corners here. But all riveted up. I went with rivets because I know with bolts they can loosen up and everything, and these really don't have the chance of loosening up at all unless they break or snap or something like that, and then we'll just throw another rivet in. But everything's turned out good. The noise that you hear is that piece of metal up there. seems pretty good to me so far. Move that. Seems pretty good, and it seems like it'll work out pretty well. So that's 3 done. Like I said, I'm leaving gaps for water to shed down through. So, keep in tune.